Welcome to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we speak up and speak out about all taboo topics to make them normal and acceptable. I'm your host, Simona Spark, a best-selling author, international speaker, transformational coach, and so many other things. Beyond anything else, I'm a woman who stopped following other people's rules and started creating my own. In this space, we are ready to get naked by stripping away insecurities and judgments and all kinds of limitations and reaching in for the essence of who we really are bare. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. Please join the conversation by sharing with us your insights and your questions. You could email us directly to transformation@simonaspark.com, or you could DM us on Instagram at Simona Spark World. Thank you for joining me today. Let's begin. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Bear Podcast. Let's start with celebrations, as always. I'm celebrating myself and I'm celebrating you. And today we celebrate with ice water. Cheers, cheers, everyone. It's a very hot day. We are in 3 digits again. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far. For those of you that have been following me for a while, thank you so much for coming back. And for those of you that just landed here for the first time, welcome. Welcome to the Bear Space. I am invite you all to leave your comments underneath the video to let us know what are you getting from each and every episode, and also what will be the topics that you would like for me to bring into the conversations. So you either leave it in the comments or you could message me directly on Instagram at Simona Spark World, or email me directly to transformation@simonaspark.com. So that's that. Today, I want to talk about worthiness. For the last 2 episodes, we look at the boundaries from different angles, right? And how to set boundaries. And in order to get there, we need to feel worthy. So I'm just going to start this conversation with saying that we all born worthy. Just because we are here, we are worthy of everything that life gets to offer us. We don't need to prove, we don't need to justify. So you could see how the same framework goes for boundaries. You know, when I said that the boundaries are there to protect your own well-being. So when you feel that your well-being is being attacked, makes you feel uncomfortable, it's just a signal that you need a new boundary. And when you set it, you don't need to explain it, you don't need to justify it. Same goes for worthiness. You don't need to justify why you are worthy or something. You don't need to earn the right to be worthy of receiving your dreams, you fulfilling your desires. You are worthy. For the minute that you were born, you're worthy, period. So now the work is what doesn't let you feel worthy. And that's where we dive into the inner work to clean up the limiting beliefs, to clean up whatever is needed to be cleaned up. But I want to drag attention to underneath of most of things that doesn't let us be fully who we are, showing up authentically, owning our power, our worthiness. Most of the time is because we do care about what other people think and say about us. We do care way too much about other people's opinion about us. That is the reason we are hiding. We are hiding our mistakes. We are hiding our failure. Like, we are hiding all of that, even our own trauma. our pain, our suffering. We are hiding it because we don't want to appear in front of other people being imperfect or weak. So we feel that we don't deserve the love, the success, the money, the house, the boyfriend, the whatever. So, and it's such a twisted concept. Here I am with these dreams and desires, and let's talk about a desire. I want this thing, but then I self-sabotage it to don't get it, right? Because I don't feel worthy of having it. So even if I work myself through the process and I get to have it, I don't get to keep it. Why? Because deep underneath of everything, I still believe that I'm not worthy of having it. So I either sabotage to don't get it, or I receive it and I don't know how to keep it. I lose it. So think about this. Think about this in any area of your life, really. Is it in love? Is it in financial space? Is it in your career as far as accomplishments, right? And it happens like that for very good reasons, because it's in our programming, and this is how we be in a race, right? To not complain, to don't ask for too much, because that means that we are greedy, to don't put ourselves first, because that means that we are selfish. All the things that we've been talking about in the previous episodes, and for sure we're going to talk about some more in upcoming episodes, right? So what could be a simple process, let's say, of owning our power, of owning our worthiness, of moving, shifting, and changing that belief, and truly believe deeply that we are worthy of having what we desire? We need to look at the healing process. You know, we deal with pain, but we could turn pain into power, because it doesn't matter what we went through and how painful it was. We survive it. We've come through. How do I know? Because we are here. So that's powerful. We get to turn fear into fuel. Every time that we are afraid of trying a new thing, taking a step into a new direction, we have the ability to take that contraction, like the fear of unknown, or the fear of mess it up, of the fear of failing, into being excited, curious about what's going to happen, what I'm going to discover, what am I about to learn about this process or this thing, and most importantly, what I'm about to learn about myself when I open this new door into a new direction. So that's how we shift from fear to excitement, right? So we get to turn that fear into fuel to keep our engine going after our dreams. And then, of course, the heaviest thing that's holding us back from our past is trauma that we accumulate throughout our life up until now. But listen, you are here. You made it. So that pain is power, and that fear is fuel, and that trauma, it's a triumph. You made it through. You here. Regardless of everything and anything that happened to you, you are here. And you take all that and you look back and you say, all of that, no matter how terrible it was, no matter how painful it was, no matter how scary it was, it happened for me. How it happened for me, because I learned some lessons that I couldn't have learned them in another spaces, because I come out with some strategy of surviving that I will never had if I was not into that space, because it made me stronger. I find ways to come through in moments where appear as nothing is possible. So if anywhere along the way you forgot about your worthiness, let all these evidences and all these things that you went through and you survived them to be your anchors into start believing again how worthy you are. And this is where it's getting tricky, because that's what I see. I saw it with myself and I see it with my clients. They use those evidences as a justification of why they're worthy. And there is no need. Have them as an anchor, but don't have them as a justification. Don't have them as an explanation. Don't have them as proofs why you are worthy. Let's don't confuse the two. It's very interesting to me how, like, even in the space of personal development, of course, we learn from others, from people that walk before us, and then we take everything in and we process it and we make it our own. And that is how and only how we could support another human when they go through the same process, right? But it's one thing that came into a conversation with one of my friends the other day. One thing that I learned, and most likely you heard it too, and I was holding to it for a very long time, the belief that before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. So think about it. You probably heard this before, right? And it's a very tricky one, because I know for years I got to believe it, that I have to go through a breakdown in order to get through a breakthrough. And guess what? It is not necessary. It is not necessary. Breakthroughs get to happen after breakthroughs. We don't need breakdowns. But because we are so conditioned on bad experiences and survive them, and another bad experience and find another solution to get out of it, it just becomes a pattern. So much so that it's evolving into this very sophisticated strategy that before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And then I watch myself, how I'm destroying, quote unquote, everything around me before I have a breakthrough. And that is absolutely unnecessary. So a couple of years ago, I started shifting into, what if I don't need all these breakdowns? What if I don't need the pain? What if I don't need the trauma? And I know when I publish my book, I say in many spaces that probably my next memoir will have a title or subtitle, no trauma, no drama kind of story. I want to let go of the idea that we only learn good, valuable lessons when we are in the bottom of the bottom. I want to let go of the idea that only survivors or massive trauma get to have the wisdom and get to be the best teachers. Like, I want to let go of all of that, because I know that I heal my trauma. And I also know that might be some residues that I'm not even aware that still needed to be healed. But I also know something that is way more important than anything else. I'm worthy of having a good experience. And it's up to me what kind of life I'm creating for myself. If I say that I don't want trauma, it's up to me to set up good boundaries when people come at me, people, events, circumstances that might traumatize me, to have strong boundaries and walk away from that. If I want to create a life without a drama, it's up to me to don't engage in drama of other people. And when that comes at me, to have strong boundaries and to walk away from that one. And I want you to hear me out when I say to walk away. I'm the one that I get to walk away. I'm not going to set up a boundary to tell people to go away, because I don't get to tell people what to do. I'm only responsible for what I'm doing. So people will be people. They'll have opinions. They will have ideas. They will have judgments. And it's my responsibility to protect my dream, protect my well-being, and remove myself from relationships, circumstances, events that might affect those two. Why? Because I'm worthy. I'm worthy of fulfilling my desires. I'm worthy of having a good experience. And I'm taking the responsibility for creating it. And also no longer blaming on other people for my experience. And that's not to say that people will not come at you and upset you or be ugly with you or call you names or whatever. Like, yeah, I have that. I went through all of that, and probably I'll have them again. But we have the power to set a boundary to say, this person's opinions about me does not affect my worth. This is just simply how they perceive me. It's their perception. Has nothing to do with who I am. It does not affect my worthiness, and it doesn't make me feel less than just because somebody see me as such. So that's what I want to remind you today, that you are worthy. And as you walk through life, anything that might distance you from that belief, I want to invite you to take a closer look at it and see if you need a boundary, see if you need to remove yourself from that circumstance, see if you need to distance yourself from that person, whatever it is that you needed to do in order to stay in your power. Keep the belief that you are worthy. You are worthy of having a good experience. You are worthy of having a good life. You are worthy of going after your dreams. You are worthy of fulfilling your wildest and wildest desires. You are worthy. That's what I have for today. I wish you an amazing week. Have a bear experience. Allow me to celebrate you again. Cheers, cheers. Thank you for tuning in today. Please follow, rate, and review your favorite episode and share it with your friends. I would love to hear from you. What inspired you? What triggered you? And what interests you? For more bear experiences, please go to simonaspark.com/bear. And for a daily bear inspiration, please follow us on Instagram at Simona Spark World. I can't wait to have you back. Until then, be bear, beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. Lots of love, my friend.